To begin using this new counting tool, you must first connect to a SpeedLane unit. Once connected, head over to the SpeedLane Plot tab. In this tab, you'll find an Open Validation Tool button. Click on it to open a new form. On this form, you must configure the following two things first. One is the interval in which you want to log data. By default, it is set to 1 minute, but this value can be set up to 15 minutes. For now, we'll leave it at 1. Secondly, we must first select which lanes we're interested in. By default, we will log all the lanes. But in this example, let's assume that we're going to be logging one lane at a time. So let's start off with lane number 1. In addition to this, at the very bottom left, you'll find a text box. Here, we can write comments, which we can add to our table. As an example, I'll write a comment here prior to starting. We are about to start logging for lane number 1. And we'll insert this comment by using this insert notes / comment button. And as you'll see in the table, we have added this new row. Okay, now we're about to start, so we'll click the start button here. Once this button is clicked, as you can see, we added a new section for 15:20:05, which represents the time in which we began recording data. And as you can see, as vehicles pass by here in the plot, we'll be updating this lane number 1 column. As data is being recorded, we can write additional comments. Here's another example of writing comments. Comment number 1, insert. And this comment will appear right below, and you can keep appending as many comments as you want. Comment number 2. We're coming up to the minute interval, and as you'll see, we'll create a new section for this new interval section. So our first section was from 15:20:05 to 15:21:04. The following section is now 15:21:05, and it should end at 15:22:04. But as an example, we can stop this early, and then we'll timestamp it based on when we click that stop button. So once we're done with lane 1, we can move towards logging for lane 2. We'll uncheck lane 1 and we'll check lane 2. And we'll add a comment. Starting recording lane number 2. And insert this comment. And then we can click the start button again. Now only lane number 2 would be logged. At the very bottom, we can also see the total counts as well as the average speed for a given lane. And the same will be applied to lane number 3. So we'll uncheck lane 2, check lane 3, write another comment, start of lane number 3, insert comment, and click on the start button. And lastly, we can do the same for lane number 4. Stop, uncheck lane number 3, check lane number 4, add a comment, start of lane number 4, log, insert comment, and click start. As you can see, there's additional checkboxes at the top. These will toggle information seen on the table as well as what is going to be logged within the actual file itself. So if you're only interested in counts, you could technically uncheck this average speeds and then save to file once ready. But in this case, we'll have both selected as well as show examples with only count selected. So we'll stop it for now. And we'll add one final comment. Last comment. Once we're done, we will now select which file name we want to use. So we can choose from 3 file naming conventions. One from a from connection name, which is in reference to the connection tab the drop-down box, specifically which radar we connected on, which would be local network SpeedLane F87549 followed by the IP address. Second, we have hostname. Hostname refers to the SpeedLane setup tab, network tab, hostname section. In this case, it would be SpeedLane F87549. Lastly, we have the serial number silicon ID. This is referring to the connection tab. Here in the connection radar info, we will see a silicon ID followed by the radar serial number. If the radar serial number is missing or empty, by default we'll just stick with the silicon ID. In addition to this, the file path is defaulted, or the folder path is defaulted to the My Radar Stats folder, which is located under your username, My Documents, My Radar Stats folder. In this case, you can see here in the Save to File Path section. So once ready to save the file, at the bottom right, just click on the Save to File. Once that is done, navigate to the folder. And as you can see, it should be a reflection of what was written here in this table itself. So you have the last comment, the 45.5 for lane number 4 in terms of average speed, as well as the 8 in terms of counts. And as I mentioned earlier, you can select which of these rows you want to show, whether it be between counts or average speeds. So let's deselect average speeds and let's focus solely on counts. So uncheck, close the CSV file, then click Save to File. Now we can reopen that file. As you will see, we will only see the counts and not the average speeds. So you have the 8, 5 here, 5 from lane 2, as well as 7 from lane 1, an additional 2 from lane 1 as well from earlier.